Thutmose III, variously also spelled Thutmose or Thothmes, sometimes called Thutmose the Great, was the 6th pharaoh of the 18th dynasty. Officially, he ruled Egypt from the 28th of April 1479 BC until the 11th of March 1425 BC, commencing with his coronation at the age of 2 and concluding with his death, age 56. However, during the first 22 years of his reign, he was co-regent with his stepmother and aunt, Hatshepsut, who was named the pharaoh, while he was shown first on surviving monuments. Both were assigned the usual royal names and insignia, and neither is given any obvious seniority over the other. Thutmose served as the head of Hatshepsut's armies. During the final 2 years of his reign, he appointed his son and successor, Amenhotep II, as his junior co-regent. His firstborn son and heir to the throne, Amenemhat, predeceased Thutmose III, pharaoh. Reign 1479 to 1425 BC. Predecessor Hatshepsut. Successor Amenhotep I. Consort Nefertiti, Hatshepsut Merieter, Nebtu, Menwi, Merdi, Menhet, Nebsemi Children Amenemhet, Amenhotep II, Beketamen, Isit, Menkhipur, Meridaman C. and Meridaman D, Nebuchadnezzar, Nefertari. Siam father Thutmose II, mother Isit, born 1481 BC, died 1425 BC, age 56. Dario KV3 for monuments. Cleopatra's needle obelisk of Theodosius, Dynasty 18th Dynasty. Thutmose III earned a preeminent legacy as a warrior king, becoming the sole ruling pharaoh of the kingdom after Hatshepsut's death. He conducted no fewer than 17 campaigns, all victorious, while expanding Egypt's empire to its largest extent. He is also considered the father of the ancient Egyptian navy, creating the first combat navy in the ancient world. He is consistently recognized as a military genius by historians and is widely considered Egypt's greatest warrior pharaoh. Additionally, he is regarded as one of the most powerful and celebrated rulers of the New Kingdom period of ancient Egypt, itself considered the height of Egyptian power. Furthermore, he is widely considered one of the greatest warriors, military commanders, and military strategists of all time. Numerous recordings of his military campaigns are detailed in the inscriptions known as the Annals of Thutmose III. Thutmose's two main names transliterate as an Npr Kotimes. The first name is usually transcribed as Menkhipur and means lasting, is the manifestation of Ra, or the lasting one of the manifestation of Ra. The second name is transliterated as Thutmose or Tuthmosis, and means born of Thoth, or Thoth is born. Monato in his Egyptology History of Egypt, written in Greek according to Eusebius, called him Mithras and Misphranthousis. Thutmose III was the son of Thutmose II by a secondary wife, Isit or Aseth. His father's great royal wife was Queen Hatshepsut. Her daughter, Nefer, was Thutmose's half-sister. When Thutmose II died, Thutmose III was too young to rule. Hatshepsut became his regent, soon his co-regent, and shortly thereafter declared herself to be the pharaoh, while never denying kingship to Thutmose III. Thutmose III had little power over the empire, while Hatshepsut exercised the formal titulary of kingship. Her rule was quite prosperous and marked by great advancements. When Thutmose III reached a suitable age and demonstrated the capability, she appointed him to head her armies. Some Egyptologists speculate that Thutmose married his half-sister, Nefer, but there is no conclusive evidence for this marriage. It has been suggested that Nefer may have been the mother of Thutmose's firstborn son, Amenemhat. Alternatively, the great royal wife Sautia is believed to have been the mother of Amenemhat. Amenemhat predeceased his father. Several other wives of Thutmose are attested to by surviving records. He is known to have at least 3 foreign wives, Menwi, Merdi, and Menhet, who were buried together. At least one other wife, Nebtu, is known from a pillar in Thutmose's tomb following the death of Sautia. A woman named Meriter Hatshepsut became the great royal wife. She was the mother of several of his children, including the future king Amenhotep II and another son, Menkhipur, and at least 4 daughters, Nebuchadnezzar, Meridaman and Isit. Thutmose III reigned from 1479 BC to 1425 BC according to the low chronology of ancient Egypt. This has been the conventional Egyptian chronology in academic circles since the 1960s. Though in some circles, the older dates 1504 BC to 1450 BC are preferred from the high chronology of Egypt. These dates, just as all the dates of the 18th dynasty, are open to dispute because of uncertainty about the circumstances surrounding the recording of a heliacal rise of Sothis in the reign of Amenhotep I. A papyrus from Amenhotep I's reign records this astronomical observation, which theoretically could be used to perfectly correlate the Egyptian chronology with the modern calendar. However, to do this, the latitude where the observation was taken must also be known. This document has no note of the place of observation, but it can safely be assumed that it was taken in either a delta city, such as Memphis or Heliopolis, or in Thebes. These two latitudes give dates 20 years apart. The high and low chronologies, respectively, the length of Thutmose III's reign is known to the day, thanks to information found in the tomb of the military commander Amenemheb-Mahu. Amenemheb-Mahu records Thutmose's death to his master's 54th regnal year. On the 30th day of the third month of Purit, the day of Thutmose III's accession is known to be Ishamu Day 4, and astronomical observations can be used to establish the exact dates of the beginning and end of the king's reign, assuming the low chronology, from the 28th of April 1479 BC to the 11th of March 1425 BC. Respectively, Thutmose III conducted at least 16 campaigns in 20 years. American Egyptologist James Breasted referred to him as the Napoleon of Egypt for his conquests and expansionism. Thutmose III is recorded to have captured 350 cities during his rule and conquered much of the Near East from the Euphrates to Nubia. During 17 known military campaigns, he was the first pharaoh after Thutmose I to cross the Euphrates, doing so during his campaign against Mitanni. His campaign records were inscribed onto the walls of the Temple of Ammon at Karnak, transcribed in Nurkanden IV. He transformed Egypt into an international superpower by creating an empire that stretched from the Asian regions of Syria to the north to Upper Nubia to the south. Much is known about Thutmose the warrior, not only because of his military achievements, but also because of his role as scribe and army commander, Thanani, who wrote about his conquests and reign. Thutmose III was able to conquer such a large number of lands because of revolutionary developments in military technology. The Hyksos may have brought advanced weaponry, such as horse-drawn chariots, around 1650 BC. In the process of driving them out, the people of Egypt learned to use these weapons. Thutmose III encountered little resistance from neighboring kingdoms, allowing him to expand his realm of influence easily. His army also carried boats on dry land. Political situation in the ancient Near East. By taking Megiddo, Thutmose gained control of all of northern Canaan, and the Syrian princes were obligated to send tribute and their own sons as hostages to Egypt. Beyond the Euphrates, the Assyrian, Babylonian, and Hittite kings all gave Thutmose gifts, which he alleged to be tribute when he recorded it on the walls of Karnak. The only noticeable absence is Mitanni, which would bear the brunt of the following Egyptian campaigns into Western Asia. To Mitanni, and typically consisting of a king and a small number of foreign Marianu. Thutmose III found that by taking family members of these key people to Egypt as hostages, he could drastically increase their loyalty to him. Syria rebelled again in Thutmose's 31st year, and he returned to Syria for his 7th campaign, took the port city of Ulaza and the smaller Phoenician ports, and took more measures to prevent further rebellions. All the excess grain which was produced in Syria was stored in the harbors he had recently conquered and was used for the support of the military and civilian Egyptian presence ruling Syria. This left the cities in Syria desperately impoverished, with their economies in ruins. They had no means of funding rebellion. Attack on Mitanni. After Thutmose III had taken control of the Syrian cities, the obvious target for his 8th campaign was the state of Mitanni, a Hurrian country with an Indo-Aryan ruling class. However, to reach Mitanni, he had to cross the Euphrates River. He sailed directly to Byblos and made boats, which he took with him overland on what appeared to otherwise be just another tour of Syria. And he proceeded with the usual raiding and pillaging as he moved north through the lands he had already taken. He continued north through the territory belonging to the still unconquered cities of Aleppo and Carchemish, and quickly crossed the Euphrates in his boats, taking the Mitannian king entirely by surprise. It appears that Mitanni was not expecting an invasion, so they had no army of any kind. Here the first part of information about King Thutmose III ends. We will see you in the second part.